From the heart of Europe to the world, this is RTI.
Live from studios in Poprad and broadcasting around the world, this is Radio Tatras International, your happy radio station. Gaby's... I don't believe this. Gaby's in the studio and he's also on you now on the chat room. Hello, Facebookers! How the devil are you? Uh-oh. Now I'm in trouble. Do you know what? I'm a really bad person because I do smoke, but stop moving the camera around, or cameras, and because Martina is now watching, it means I cannot have one of those in the studio, which is horrific. But we've got guests. I'll introduce them to you in a moment. But first of all, I've got to introduce you to the man who's leaving España. Viva la España. Ciao, España. Hello, Leigh.
How do you do? Yeah, that's it. We're off. We're back to the UK. Ooh.
You're going back to the mire and dirt.
Well, I tell you what, at least we're getting away from screaming kids and screaming Spaniards. It's the noisiest place I've ever been in my life.
What?
Spain is officially the noisiest country in the world.
Is it?
It is. Well, I don't think it's not as noisy as India, but it's pretty close. It's lovely. I love it here. I'm not complaining. But all you Spaniards, you should stop your children screaming in the pubs at night. That's the thing. All the Spaniards decide to take the children out to the pub. For some reason, let's take the children to the pub. Let's have them there. They can all do screaming and all grown-ups.
Okay,
yeah,
well, look, Leigh...
can't go for a crash.
Well, yes. Before I get bogged down too much, quick hellos. Brian Hyde in Shillington. No, he's not. He's in Arlesey now, I think. Marcus is there. Andrea's there. Richard. Katarina. What? Hello, Poprad, says Marcus. Nice one. It's like the Eurovision Song Contest, isn't it? Hello, Shelley. Oh, hello, Shelley. I know those. Lubitschka's there. Tracy Ann and Adam and Martina and Peter and Stephen and Mark. You're all there. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm waving to. If you're driving in your car listening, you're going to go, "What the hell's he doing?" I'm actually waving to people on Facebook at the moment, just to say hi. How are you? I'm getting funny things put on the screen on there. It's really confusing me, Leigh.
I'm so sorry, but I can't switch mine on. I can't see it.
Well, of course you can't, because if you did that, then you'd get echo from yourself.
And I've never, ever had an echo from myself.
Have you not?
I've had advertisements from myself and all sorts of Norman Mailer things, but never an echo.
Ah, right, okay. Before we start the show proper, I introduce a guest to you. Adriana's there as well. Hi from Australia, says Mark.
Hello, Mark.
Mark's going to be joining us shortly with the Retro Rock show. He will. Because he's like that. He's got a lovely show, actually. We're coming up, we spoke to you last week about it. When we do the schedule change at the end of the month, Mark will be joining us, and it's a fab show. So hi to everybody on Facebook, on YouNow, on Vaughan Live, on Ustream. I'm running out of things to do. I've given up. Also, great. Thank you very much, Dennis, at brittv.co.uk. Seriously, mate, we'll talk later. Thank you very much for the kind offer. Coming up next week, got to mention this, it's the first birthday of the Poprad English group. Yeah, here in Poprad. If you're around Poprad, come over to the Cork Wine Bar, and we might even be playing some English pub games. So now a small apology. I've had my hat off. I am on my knees. No, I'm not on my knees. Everybody can see I'm not.
No, you never get up again.
Shut up. Oh, by the way, Rachel will join us in part 2. She's currently driving down to the coast. Chris Nary's just said, hello, CBJ. You've got a good memory. That's my old amateur radio call sign. And Rob Randall's just joined us as well. So here we go. Small apology to Slovak football fans. We're very sorry. We are so sorry, very, very sorry, that Marcus Rashford, who scored 2 goals against the 2-0 win against Slovakia, has actually spent 4 years at training camps in Aqua City, Poprad, which is a bit of an oops, really, isn't it?
Oopsie daisy.
It's a bit of an oops. It's just, sorry, Slovakia, but we couldn't help it. We couldn't. It's just that he was the winner. And before we get started properly, sorry, Sherry Ann, I know you're out there listening somewhere. I would love to come over to Felixstowe, but I just really haven't got the time. Thanks so much for the invite and even a free bed. Hello from Scarborough in North Yorkshire. Hello, Rob. So thanks for the invite, Sherry. It's very sweet of you. Just going to recap on the tour dates for Emperor Roscoe.
He's my mate.
I know he's your mate. I will tell you something in a moment which will annoy everybody. But anyway, Felixstowe, Saturday the 9th of September. He'll be broadcasting on DAB in London on the 11th, Monday. The 12th is in Bournemouth, 13th Norwich, 14th Liverpool, and Edinburgh on the 15th. Then he's back to LA. On the Sunday, he's having what he describes as a me day, which is the 10th, so he's not going to be around. Times are in the local press, so I'm not going to steal their thunder and nick it from them because they are kind of good guys. But do remember, Roscoe's having a me day on the 10th, catching up with old friends. And the location has not been revealed. Huge bribes may loosen my tongue. Maybe. Or that of Day Roads. Maybe. Maybe not. Anyway, Emperor Roscoe, see you on Sunday, mate. Looking forward to having lunch. And again, those tour places, Felixstowe the 9th, London on the 11th, Bournemouth the 12th, Norwich on the 13th, Liverpool on the 14th, Edinburgh on the 15th, and then he's back to LA. Australia's in again. AJ's there. Hello, AJ, all the way from... and Dave Lindsay, hi from Humane. Well, hello, Humane. Hello, which is rather nice. Hello to Martin as well, the Duke, who's just joined us as well on Facebook. Duke. Hi, Duke. You can hear him now. And so many of you on you now. I'm not missing you out, I promise. I really am not, because there's so many of you on there. First of all, we've got Gaby in the studio. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
How do you do?
He didn't sound a bit like that this morning. He was very Dutch this morning. As was the music. It was kind of good, really.
Goedemorgen, dit is de Looney Tunes Guy on RTI.
You see what I have to put up with? You take him off a street corner, you make him work a little bit, and what do you get? Abuse. I don't know. And who is this lovely lady?
Hello, this is Miranda from the Netherlands.
Hello, Miranda from the Netherlands.
Hi.
Hello, Miranda.
Can you hear his Leigh?
Yes, I can hear Leigh. Hello, Leigh.
Would you be polite?
I apologise for Leigh in advance.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Because he's
I
like
apologise for being polite too.
Right, yeah, absolutely not. But there you go. Leigh's the one in that picture of it. See, he's got grey hair, hasn't he?
And a very handsome one.
Yeah, he calls it, what do you call it? Ash blonde hair, he calls it.
It's ash blonde. That's what you should have because you smoke, like you've just been admitting.
Me? I don't.
No, you don't smoke, do you?
No, not now, because people are watching me, for goodness sake.
Can I pull rank? Can I just pull rank here?
Well, you normally do.
Well, yeah, but just because you're showing off, because you're going for lunch with the Emp.
Yes.
I point out that the Emp made lunch for me in Hollywood.
Well, there you go.
Aha.
Aha. Aha, ha, ha, ha,
ha. That's it, finished now.
Have you? You sure?
Yeah, carry on.
Okay.
Yep, fine.
Hi to Monica Norris and
Hello, Monica.
Noreen Ralph's there. Bernie says, a good doctor can remove that from your ears. No, they can't. They're stuck on, Bernie. Don't you worry. They are absolutely. We're going to get on with a bit of news now because that's what we're supposed to be doing. Stephanie Slater, the poor lady who was a kidnap victim, she sadly died, which is tragic, really.
She has. She was only 50 as well. She had a tragic life. If you remember, she was the estate agent, the Birmingham estate agent, who was imprisoned in a wooden coffin by Michael Sams, who was posing as a prospective house buyer.
Yeah.
And she survived that. She was abused, all sorts of things. It cost her manager, the manager of the estate agency, paid £175,000, which back in 1992 was a lot of dosh.
Yeah.
Anyway, she got on with life, and sadly, she's died of cancer now.
Oh, that's very sad. Don't forget, as I said earlier, Rachel will be joining us from somewhere in Australia on the coast in part 2 of today's programme. Walter Becky, the co-founder of Steely Dan, he's also died. And I know, really, the big one for me was Reeling in the Years, had to be.
Yeah, they were a good band, and it wasn't necessarily my type of music, but it's certainly a good band. And how sad.
Lee, behave yourself.
Why? You've not got me on camera, have you?
No, but you've got to behave yourself, because we are not worthy. Mike Knight is watching us on Facebook, or listening to us. Hello, Mike. If you remember, I don't know if you can remember this, Lee, about 10 years ago, there was a programme we had on RTI around Europe from different broadcast people, and Mike was one of the ones that said Skype would be the future for talkie radio.
I do remember that vaguely. I don't remember it so much from the actual event, but I remember you talking about it at the time to me. Yes,
there you go, and that was Mike Knight who said that. Anyway, good old Mike.
Just before you move on,
yes,
you've missed a headline off, and you've missed an announcement about the ConsumerWatchFoundation.com.
Well, I was trying to avoid... Well, it's not too bad this week, 11 minutes into the show.
That's because I thought you were going to do it quicker.
No, well, you see, the and finally paused at the beginning of the show, before we really got started, was so that Leigh can be the one to reveal. Now, Leigh wants to reveal Rick Wakeman will be on the Consumer Watch Foundation next week. Oops. Sorry.
I didn't want to reveal it. You wrote it on. I was keeping it as an exclusive secret, but now the secret's out. Yes, that lovely, lovely Rick Wakeman is actually going to be making comments on the Consumer Watch Foundation about a very, very, very important subject involving our children.
I won't mention the subject, but I think you should have a read of it. And when you think that Rick Wakeman's behind it all as well, you know, it's quite a strong thing. Lots of dropouts my end, says Mike. I wonder if everybody else on Facebook is managing okay. I'm just looking at the Wi-Fi signal. Yeah, it's fine. Anyway, I have to say, tragic and very horrible for those people out in the Bahamas, the Dominican Republic, the British, obviously the British area of Turks and Caicos as well, hit by the hurricane. I'm amazed, actually, Leigh, to find so many people able to access the internet from Turks and Caicos and do reports onto the news.
I know, it is quite amazing, because, particularly when you consider that actually the National Hurricane Centre have downgraded the storm now to a Category 4, but that still involves 155-mile-an-hour winds. That's unbelievable.
I know, it's shocking.
And then if you add to that, because it's headed for all parts of the coast at the moment, and look at what's happened in Mexico with the earthquake.
And you know, it's coming from all directions, and the people I feel I'm absolutely petrified for is the people in Florida, because effectively, apparently, the way this is going to happen is that the storm or hurricane is going to go up the middle of California. And by doing so, there will be huge rushes of water up to about 2, maybe 3 meters tall. And it's going to come from both coastlines. So effectively, the poor guys in the middle are going to get sort of 2 to 3 meters one side, 2 to 3 meters the other side, and they are going to absolutely be hammered by Hurricane Irma, which is just shocking, really.
Going to happen. Well, it is. This is going to happen on Sunday, so hopefully some miracle will occur where things change. But yeah, there could be 20-foot surges of water. I can't believe it. It's so sad. And then the earthquake in Mexico, like I said, killed 15 people. But the ramifications of that are being felt in Austin, in Texas, and it's just horrendous. It's just horrendous at the moment.
Yeah, right. Okay. Apparently, we've got a few bits of technical issues on Facebook at the moment for a couple of guys. Sorry about that. Hi to Eva and hi to Mike. I'm not quite sure. That's another Mike, by the way, where the issue is, but we'll look into it for future weeks. Bearing in mind, this is our first attempt. I think we'll do that. But I think it's working in some places. It's really weird how it's working in some places and not in others.
It appears to be working in Spain, because I've had no complaints.
Well, there you are then. But it is a bit odd, and I'm not sure why at the moment, but we'll try some new gizmos next week. Maybe that'll help a little bit. But we carry on with the news, because...
it's just gone down in Spain, I've just been informed.
Are we back on in Spain?
No, it's collapsed.
It's collapsed?
Yeah, it's the pictures are there, but there's no sound. I've just been informed.
Oh, really? That's a bit odd. I don't get that.
I'm so sorry.
I don't get that at all. I have no idea why it's doing that at all. To be very honest, well, the only thing I can do for you is to have a look at things and see why it's not doing what it should be doing. But I'll do that in the commercial break coming up. So anyway, Facebook. Don't start me on this. Ooh.
Well, don't start me on this either. Shall we not do started on this? Because I think, go on, you start.
Well, I have been reporting a number of issues to Facebook, and they really don't seem to get it. And the reason I'm reporting, it's not for me, I don't care. It's their name that is being abused by a whole bunch of people who are selling dodgy stuff.
Absolutely.
And now we find out that not only is that the case, but they've been doing fake adverts as well.
Well, it's not only they've been doing fake adverts, they've been denying it. And now they've had to reveal that they took £100,000 in ads involving, criticising President Trump's decision on the DACA week. It's outrageous. This is a company that says that it does not want to have fake news on its site, and it will do everything it can. It's bringing in all sorts of technology to seek out fake news. Yet it took $100,000 to put fake news on there.
It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. I'll tell you what we're going to do, boys and girls. We're going to break the rules a bit here. Can I, for Facebook people, give you another URL to go to? Because I think you'll find life a bit easier until we can find out what's wrong with the Facebook feed at the moment. If you've got a pencil handy or you've got your keyboard handy, www. That's the easy bit. unow.com. unow, all one word, .com. Okay, Alan, got it. So it's unow.com/RTI radio. unow.com/RTI radio. I'll try and type it in a moment as well. In a couple of minutes, we'll pull that one off and leave you all to join us on unow as well. Oh, we might just keep it going for a bit longer. Hello, Susanna. So there you go. Back to Facebook. There's a couple of areas that really annoy me. One of which is this, take the money. And I don't necessarily think that Facebook actually know what's going on, which sounds a bit of a cop-out. But
it's not a defence, is it?
No, it's not. But I suspect that most are coming through advertising agencies, which would be the normal way to do it. And I think because the regime in Facebook doesn't seem to actually be that strict, I think there's a lot of people trying to make a lot of money very quickly.
Yeah, I'm sure there is, but every other publication and organ of dissemination of news and information has to vet the ads that it's going to take for political reasons, for all sorts of reasons, for legal reasons. And Facebook, as one of the biggest advertising carriers in the world, needs to do that. And the simple fact is, For them to be fighting what they consider to be fake news and to be doing this laudable thing of saying that we will expose fake news, we will stop the existence of fake news, and then for them to take $100,000 to publish fake news, which actually could well have influenced the outcome of the US presidential election and got Mr. Trumpington in power.
Well, it does show you what social media can do and the power it's got. And it's huge power over people. This is not to wind you up or get you annoyed. The fact is that it's actually. Hello, Kate, darling. Hello, Susanna. The fact is, although newspapers in the US were trying to highlight the issue, which they were doing their best to do, social media overtook it completely.
Overtook what?
What the newspapers were doing.
I don't know what you mean, really. But...
Right, so, okay, we knew about the fake news coming from Russia and places.
Oh, sorry, right, yes.
The newspapers knew about it, certain broadcasters knew about it, and yet social media was so strong, it outweighed the influence of the newspapers and the other traditional broadcasters.
But yes, I understand exactly where you're coming from, but it did not do it with veracity. The newspapers and the traditional media did it with a certain amount of aplomb and veracity. The problem with social media, although I accept that it is this powerful media that will have its effect on the world, doesn't check anything. It doesn't make sure that anything's right. You read stuff on there. How many times has it been said that Paul McCartney was killed? That Ringo Starr said Paul McCartney died 50 years ago.
Absolutely.
And that sort of thing. And the problem is people believe it.
I know.
Even though it's proved to be fake news, all the time people still fall for it.
I've got to do something very quickly.
Go on, then.
I'm about to do it, so be quiet, be quiet.
RTI.
That's just to say thank you to Larry London, who's joined us, one of the voices who goes RTI, who I hate because he's got a wonderful voice and he annoys me. Alan's suggesting actually that the video quality is very good. Maybe that's using too much of the available bandwidth. Don't know, Alan, actually. That's a good point. But we've got a separate feed on for this, so it should be okay, although it's not looking very happy.
He'll be going on about wiring his studio again, and then Rachel will be getting annoyed with him again.
Oh, sorry. And I better shut up then.
We're a news programme, dear. Not a wiring your studio.
Oh, right. Okay, got that wrong, Dad. Anyway, we move on. I don't get this either.
Facebook, naughty Facebook.
Why did they take an advert for a bra off of Facebook?
Because it showed a bit of biffer.
Yeah, and?
They don't like biffers.
Well, I know they
Facebook don't like biffers. They think there's something very naughty and rude. They're
I
very
know.
child.
And do you know what annoyed me? Hi, Jan. This is one subject that really annoyed me. There was a picture taken down on Facebook not long ago of a young mum feeding her baby on the breast in a cafe.
Yes.
And Facebook killed the picture.
Because
there's nothing more natural.
No, let me tell you about the noisy Spaniards. We were in a beautiful beachside restaurant last night. Absolutely glorious. One of the most beautiful places I've ever been eating. And a young mother came in with her child. And as soon as the child was wheeled into the restaurant, he started screaming at the top of his voice, as most children tend to want to do in Spain. And the woman immediately started to breastfeed him. The child was fine and silent and slept and was smiley and everything and wonderful. There was nothing embarrassing about the woman feeding her child. No.
That's what happens normally, isn't it, Mum?
Of course it is.
It's very normal.
It's very normal, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Hang on, we got a mum here, Leigh. We can ask.
Yeah.
Exactly. Would you breastfeed your child in a restaurant if your child was in discomfort or
Because
being
it was
noisy?
hungry. You'd feed them.
Yeah, I'd feed them, definitely.
Yeah, you can't nod on the radio because they can't hear it.
No, true.
You have to talk.
It's new for me.
You have to talk a
I
little
have to
bit.
talk, no, yes.
Yes, very quiet, this young lady is, you know. Very quiet. Hello to Jane Radford as well. And hello, Yana. Hello. What are you doing? Yana's moved from one side. She's moved from one screen to the other, which is very confusing for me. But that's another story.
Are we finished?
No, because this annoys me intently. Two things annoy me. One of which is all this political correctness gone mad, where they say, and let's face it, this is the way the body's designed. This is what Mother Nature gave us. Yeah. Mother Nature said, when baby hungry, go to mummy's boobies and feed.
That's right.
Right. It's the first and only free milk vending machine.
True, and babies are programmed to, as soon as they're born, they can climb up to the breast.
Yes. So
even though they can't walk or anything, but they climb up to the breast by themselves.
It's the most natural
thing
ever.
Yeah.
So why are the politically correct going, oh, you cannot do... I tell you what, it's as daft as grown-up people walking around with nappies on, or diapers, call them what you will, because, you know, it's as daft as that. I don't get it.
That's an industry in Britain.
Well, that's true, knowing your age. This is wrong. And, you know, as long as it's not gratuitous, and while we're on the subject of gratuitous, I can't remember, that's why I can't tell you, I cannot remember how many fake, and they are fake profiles are found using a piece of software on Facebook, and I've reported them to Facebook. They've never, ever disagreed with me. And yet the one thing that they are advertising on their page, and let's face it, Facebook, let them put it there, is gratuitous sex.
Well, that's right. And how many times do you get some woman suddenly appearing, wanting to be your friend, who is actually, obviously, some kind of prostitute? And that actually doesn't stop them. But this is what Burley Bras said about it. They said, what did they say? They said that Facebook were concerned because the pixelated nudity overtly focused on bouncing breasts and overly zoomed images.
That's
wasn't.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's ridiculous. This was an advert about a bra which took the discomfort of wearing a bra away and how to put on a bra with it. And it allowed also, it was a new innovation for women who find wearing a bra.
Don't start me on that one.
Well, I know you don't like wearing your bras, do you?
Well, that's very true. But no, the funny thing is, once upon a life, and it was only because everybody else was sick, because I'm no fashion expert, as you can see from the clothes that I'm wearing, if you're watching. But I was asked to go and cover an event, that was a bad choice of words, in London. And when I got there, it was only an underwear fashion show.
Oh, no. Did you go undercover?
No, do you know, I thought to myself, as I walked into the press office, I was thinking, do I admit I have no idea about the subject matter or not? And I thought, no, Eric, you're breaking your own rules. So as I got in there, I explained who I was and where I was from and said, you know what, girls, I have no idea what I'm reporting. I am completely and utterly lost. And they said, OK, that's not a problem. At least you had actually told us, which is kind of cool. Hello, Michelle, and Alistair as well. And they took me off to teach me, or coach. Yeah, it was teaching more than coaching because it was a crash course, all about ladies' underwear.
Yes.
And I had I was learning whilst...
How old were you?
40-something.
And you didn't know about ladies' underwear?
Well, not the way that they know about it.
Well, no, you don't. Well, yes, you know about it in the masculine way. That's really the equivalent to throwing it away.
Yes, exactly. Whereas, and the hardest part of all this was they've got all the models standing there, and they're not pretend ones, they're really ones.
I don't think the use of the hardest thing there was the right choice of words.
No, I think that was bad as well. But there you go. I think we should take a short commercial break before we get shot. We'll be back in less than a couple of minutes, boys and girls. Don't go away. Well, you can have a cup of tea. You can have a milkshake, and hopefully at the end of the ad break, Rachel will be with us. See you in a sec.
From the heart of Europe to the world, this is RTI.
This is an appeal that I simply wish I didn't have to make. In this day and age, how is it possible that 1,400 children will die today from dirty water? That children like Elodie have to drink dirty water from rivers and swamps, risking their lives. Right now, you can help save a child's life. Text the word water to 70080 to give WaterAid £3. WaterAid has the expertise to install pipes, pumps and taps that will bring clean water to children at risk. They just need your support. In the next minute, dirty water will kill another child like Elodie. So please, don't wait to save a child's life. Text water to 70080 now to give WaterAid £3. Thank you.
If your dream holiday is 2 hours from the UK, perfect for children and teenagers, young couples and the older visitor, ideal for the physically active and for those who just want to unwind, Aqua City is the destination for you. Described by the Travel Channel as the place that will soon be on everybody's lips, be ahead of the crowd and the envy of your friends, but still enjoy a home from home. Come to Aqua City Poprad, the world's leading green resort.
From the heart of Europe to the world, RTI.
Welcome back to part 2 of Postcard from Poprad. We'll try and see if we can find the lovely Rachel, if she's around. I don't know if she's there yet. There's lots of people that are, but do you think I can find Rachel when I'm rushing to find her? No, I can't. It's marvellous. We just cannot find Auntie Rachel. She was driving, going down to see somebody in the south of Australia somewhere, and she was trying to talk in the car, but I think that was a bit too difficult, and there was loud bodies around, and so we agreed to hold on till the end of part 2. Page 2? Where did page 2 come from? Part 2. And I can't now see her, which is really weird. Oh well. We shall play and try again and see if we can get her in a second. We move on to some more news. Hello, Ben. No, actually, we can't do that story yet, can we? Leigh, we can't do that.
Why?
Well, because it's about Australia.
Well, it was put in for Rachel to do, but we can mention it just in case she doesn't turn up. Or do you want to say that she does?
If you do that, I'll play with me buttons. You
play with your buttons, dear, and I'll just say, yeah, it's a strange story, really. It's not strange in any great way. It's just strange that Australia has this kind of attitude. And it's finally agreed, the High Court has finally agreed that ballot papers can be sent out on the 12th of September, and the results announced on November the 15th about whether same-sex marriage should be lawful in Australia. Why shouldn't it be lawful in Australia? Australia, answer that. Now, I don't know if he's still playing with these buttons, but I'll finish with that story now.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to call you back in a second, Leigh, and rejig everything. Hello, Miroslav. How the devil are you, mate? I haven't seen you for years, but I'll call you back in a second, Leigh. Because we're trying to get Rachel connected as well. And it would be really, really, really nice if we could get Rachel in there as well. That'd be kind of cool. But thanks to everybody struggling along with us as we try something new. It's always good to try new things, but sometimes they don't always work first time. But that's
Exactly.
Just while we're waiting for Rachel to see if she's coming in, I'm going to talk to my guest some more.
Hello.
Because we haven't sort of worked out why you're here yet.
I'm just visiting.
You're visiting?
Yeah, I'm visiting a friend.
That's a friend? Didn't you know him when he was younger?
Yeah, I did.
And so how long have you known Gaby?
Well, I was 16.
He was about the same age?
Well, yeah, a bit older.
But by the
21
way,
years ago.
Boys and girls, if you don't know, Gaby's the breakfast show host on a Friday. Does an amazing show in Dutch, and it's I love driving to work listening to it because it reminds me of when I was a kid. But so, hang on a minute. You knew Gaby when he was younger?
Yes, I did.
So you must know all the bad things about him.
No, I don't.
What?
I missed all the bad parts.
You missed it all?
Yeah.
Haven't you got any gossip from anybody else that said what a bad person he was? Dish the dirt.
That's very sad.
Well, I do
Kate.
know a few things. But...
You do know a few things?
Yeah.
She's going red, Leigh, she's going red.
Go on, tell us.
Tell us.
Oh, dear. No, I'm not going to tell him. No.
Oh, dear. Just stand up for your rights and tell the truth.
Yeah.
No, I met Gaby on a volleyball tournament.
Did you?
A volleyball tournament.
Volleyball. Is
tournament.
that a euphemism for something else?
Well, for sleeping in a sleeping bag with two people, yeah.
No.
Yeah, we tried that. And it fit.
It does?
Yeah, it does.
Don't you have to squash up together?
Yeah.
Is that the joy?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, my Lord. I think we better leave it there, Leigh. I think we're going too far down that road, don't you think?
I think there's nothing wrong with squashing up in volleyball. I've experienced that myself.
Right, okay. Well, we can't get hold of Rach, boys and girls. Apologies for that. So we'll carry on. Ballot papers have been sent out on the 12th of, or will be sent out on the 12th.
Done it.
What? We haven't finished it.
I did. I did it. I finished it on a really pithy point when I said, what's wrong with same-sex marriages, Australia? Tell us.
We are having a little problem with Facebook, by the way, getting the connection right, 'cause it is dropping out, as people are saying, so I'm getting messages on the screen. So, sorry, guys, if you're struggling, stay with it. Bless you. Thank you very much indeed. Well, we've done the story. You've done it.
Well, you were there. You were playing with your buttons. That's a bit like volleyball. Squash it up.
I wasn't playing with my buttons that long.
I didn't take very long to do the story.
It's not a very good story if it took that long.
No, it's not. It's a bit boring. Rachel could have made it interesting because she knew what it was about.
And you know nothing about it because you haven't researched it or read the story. So basically...
No, she was going to do it. Leave me alone.
Why should I leave you alone? I haven't moaned at you. I've been very good to you this week. I've only called you once.
I know. I mean, he's not smoked me for ages, and now just because we're on the air, he's telling me off and having a go.
Oh, dear. One of the youngest Manson family members, who was 19, when she actually participated in the murders, she's trying for parole for a second time. She was granted parole last year, but Leslie Van Houten said, not Van Houten from England, that's from America, decided that was not going to happen.
Yeah, but she's been granted parole for the second time.
Yep.
Again, whether she'll actually come out or not is debatable, and she shouldn't come out. I will nail my colours to the mast. This woman should never be let out, just as Charles Manson should never be let out.
Yes.
She carried out, or was involved in, I'm not saying she carried out the murders themselves, but she was part of a group of maniacs who butchered and killed people for no reason at all. Why should she be allowed back on the street? She turns up in court on crutches, she's limping, she's had her hair done, she's trying to look like an old grandmother. This woman is round the bend and should never, ever be allowed back on our streets.
But, let's not forget, she did take some people's lives away.
Well, exactly, that's what I'm saying. And in the most horrendous, the Sharon Tate had her baby carved from her stomach.
Oh, shocking.
Yeah.
Absolutely disgusting. By the way, hi to Ken. If you're wondering where Rachel is today, she's in a car travelling, Ken, because I know you know her very well, and she hasn't got to destination yet. We just tried to call her again, but unfortunately, he's not there, so we can't talk to her anyway. But we'll have her back next week, I'm sure. I cannot even comprehend what the parents must be thinking, or the relatives of these people are thinking, that even the chance of her coming out of prison is even on the cards.
Well, that's it. She's painting this figure of being a frail old lady who's paid her debt to society. She says that she was 15 when she started taking LSD and smoking marijuana, and she was 17 when she joined the so-called Summer of Love. There was no Summer of Love in Manson's broken down little camp in the Mojave Desert.
No.
This man led people to do the worst crime, or probably one of the worst crimes ever committed in America. And this woman wants to be allowed out of jail to walk the streets. What would she do? Who would look after her?
I have no idea, mate.
No.
I think it would cost the American states a huge amount of money just to effectively keep her safe from other vigilante groups.
Would we have allowed Myra Hindley back on the streets while she was alive? Would we have said she's paid her debt to society after serving 40 years? No, we wouldn't. Why would this woman who had her hair pulled back in a bun and was on crutches and looked old and frail, this is a murderously minded woman.
Yeah. So, I mean, how can you justify ever let... Go on, have you got a view on this, Mum?
Yeah, I do. I think it's good that she's in prison, and I think she should stay there.
Yeah.
Dangerous on the streets.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And the trouble is, it's then dangerous for other people because
Yeah.
somewhere...
Everybody deserves a second chance, but not in case of murder.
No. And I think this is where social media becomes the bad boy. The minute somebody found out where she lived, it goes on social media. You end up with a horrendous problem for the police, who would then get into trouble and be moaned at by everybody for not protecting a murderer. So it's
that's right. Yeah,
it's a no-win.
Yeah.
It's a no-win situation. Katie Holmes and Jamie Foxx finally confirmed their relationship.
I know.
I don't care.
Well, yeah, but other people do.
I don't care.
Yeah, but other people do. This is like people have been complaining. Say what? There is a friend of ours put on Facebook today about the fact that the new member of the royal family was taken to school for the first day of school by his daddy. And he says, so what? That's just a dad taking his kids to school. No, it isn't.
No.
It's something that people are passionately interested in.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
Yeah, but also people are passionately interested in the fact that Tom Cruise allegedly blocked any publicity about Katie Holmes and Jamie Foxx being together because he didn't want the embarrassment of his ex being with somebody else. Now, that is a total abuse, if it's true, of the power that this man possesses. And it's a shameful and disgusting thing. This man is known to be of very strange thought processes and to be slightly power mad, it is often said.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, Leigh, because at the end of the day, and I know that sounds wrong, but the fact is, if he wants to pull the wool over people's eyes for 5 years, which is nothing in a lifetime, from 2012 to 2017, who's the one that looks stupid now?
Well, they wouldn't look stupid if it didn't come out. And he didn't want it to come out.
Yeah, but the point is, it was a 5-year gagging order, as they known.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, after the 5 years, whichever way round it was going to come out...
he looks a bit of a knob.
Yes.
But that's the way he always looks. Everything this man does. I know people are going to go up the wall. I think Tom Cruise is probably one of the most bizarre and ridiculous figures ever to be fired up into the echelons of fame because of the strange things he does. It's nothing to do with his Scientology. If you want to be a Scientologist, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But you can't put a gagging order on somebody else's relationship because you'll be hurt and upset and feel embarrassed. I'm glad it's out.
But
what?
Maybe they had a financial agreement based on the gagging order.
Well, maybe they did. I have no knowledge of that. I have no knowledge of that.
There you go, then, you see.
But that would make no difference to the fact that now Tom Cruise looks even worse. And Katie Holmes, Jamie Foxx have got this beautiful romantic story of the way they've survived all this chicanery and strangeness. and have come out and they're still in love.
Yeah, and the thing is, he spent all that money, Leigh, if it was a gagging order for money, and he's just wasted it all. He's a Numpty of the Week award winner.
Numpty is better word than knob, isn't it?
Yeah, it is rather,
What about
isn't it?
Nobty?
Nobty. No, that just sounds ridiculous. Hello, Marcus H, who's moved from Facebook to you now. That's very clever of you. I find this next story, and I want your view, because you're a lady.
Yeah.
I've got a lady in the studio, so we have a lady's opinion. John Lewis are well known for being, John Lewis, not knowingly undersold. John Lewis, who shares profit with their whole staff. John Lewis is squeaky, squeaky, clean, and all lovely, lovely, jubbly, and then they come out with this.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. They are now bringing out stuff and ditching the boys and girls labels because it could hurt people. Huh?
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm leaving space for our lady, who is a woman.
Do you understand the story? Have you heard it?
I've heard it. I've talked about it with Gaby yesterday. The gender-neutral thing, it's just going too far.
It's bonkers.
It is, yeah.
Because, if you haven't got gender, and blokes are not the best in the world, let's be honest, and when they go to the toilet, they make unbelievable sound effects. I don't know where they come from, these sound effects, but gentlemen seem to make sound effects. Of course, ladies don't make sound effects, as we know, because when they go, it comes out with perfume. But with blokes, it's completely different. So it's a different scenario. So there can't be a straight-up gender situation.
Bad choice of words again.
I don't, thank you. But Holland's actually quite relaxed about gender anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, but the discussion about the gender-neutral thing is going on in Holland as well.
I know it is.
Yeah,
but
it's strange.
But you are relaxed about it, aren't you, compared to other places?
I guess, yeah.
Because out here, it's men or women. And there's nothing in the middle.
Oh, no, not again. Anyway, so...
Hang on, I've got to say hello to Anthony, hello to Paul and Sally, many others, and apologies for the audio quality this week. It is a bit low. It's not perfect. It's the first time out. We know what's wrong with it, and we will have it fixed for next week. But if I fixed it now, then you just see my bottom in the air, and that's not a good sight.
No.
That is not a good sound.
No.
Yes, I know I sound like Norman Collier. Don't worry about it, Paul. We'll get there next week. But... in Holland, you guys are very relaxed about this stuff. So, although there's a debate, have they got to the point of going, no, we'll call you an it now rather than a male or female?
The discussion is still going on, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it is, even in primary schools.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going way too far.
There is a very simple point to this, and that is that actually, I'm so sorry, Lewis's, John Lewis and everybody else, I'm so sorry, but men and women are different, not just in the way that Uncle Eric has just explained, but in the fact that men are manly and women are womanly. And that is how we're attracted towards each other. That's what creates the frisson that makes more human beings happen. It's the difference between men and women. John Lewis, grow up.
I couldn't agree with you more, Leigh. It is absolutely horrific. It's... I'm trying to describe it, really. It is... It's political correctness gone completely balmy.
It's like putting Action Man in a party dress.
Yeah. I mean,
what's the point?
I don't know. And I do get very confused by this because the fact is I don't understand gender neutral. I don't care if you're, straight, gay, otherwise in the middle sex, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. As long as you're a nice person, I don't give a damn.
Well, that's it. I introduced my shows by saying, welcome to ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody else who's listening. Yes. That's done specifically because there can be three sexes. It doesn't matter. There could be a dozen of different attitudes to it, but the simple thing boils down to the fact that there is a difference between male and female, and that's what keeps the world going round.
Apparently, I've just fixed Facebook, which is better. Not sure it's going to be right yet, lads. It's a bit dodgy what I've just done. No, not dodgy, naughty. Dodgy, I don't know how long it's going to last, but we'll try. Thanks, Anthony, for that. Again, I'm going back to Holland because, you know, the notion of having a school where the girls are told you can't wear skirts anymore, you have to wear trousers because you might offend somebody.
That's weird.
The people doing it are weird, aren't they?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I've got a couple of more news things to get in. Hello, Dave Rhodes. He's nearly on lunch. He sneaked out to have some lunch. The legendary commentator John Motty Motson is retiring after 50 years. I was once told by a coach for Manchester United that I was a bit like John Motson.
Really? Why was that? Because you wore a big coat?
I don't know. Maybe I talk too much.
He didn't. Well, he talked rubbish, didn't he? With the greatest of respect. I mean, and he was famous for talking rubbish, and actually made a living out of talking rubbish, and was very funny about talking rubbish.
He would ask a paragraph of words for one question.
He said in the 1996 European Championships, and this is for you, Slovakia, the Velvet Revolution between the Czechs and Slovaks didn't affect the fact that most of the Czech Republic's players come from the old Czechoslovakia. What did that mean, Mr. Motson?
I have no idea.
But that's what he was famous for.
I know.
Making statements like that.
It just doesn't make any sense, does it?
No, but that was his charm, wasn't it? And now he's packed it in because he's 72.
But he was wonderful. Apparently, I've rumbled Dave Rhodes. It's lunchtime where he is. But anyway, we're going to wish... and I would say to John Motson, even if you're retiring, sir, don't stop working because you'll get old. You will.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Very good point.
Yeah, you'll just get old, mate, and nothing will be good, and then you'll pop your clogs off rather too quickly, and that'll be the end of that. But such is life. We'll see if we can squash a couple of more bits and bobs in for you, and I've got to do this one because I like this one myself, and we'll work backwards to see what else we can squeeze in, if you follow that. Whether you love it or hate it, Marmite is the best food on the planet.
I agree.
Do you?
I do. I love Marmites, yes.
I haven't tried it at all.
You never tried it?
I've never tried it.
You've never tried it?
Nope.
Ooh.
If you think about licking the inside of a cow's ear, that's what it tastes like.
It does not. It does not. Dave reckons...
I like licking the inside of a cow's ear.
But Marmite is horrible.
I've smelled it once. I've smelled it once, and I think it really smells bad.
It's beautiful on toast.
It's wonderful. The Australians call it Vegemite, but it's not quite the same. And,
not the same, no.
Yeah, anyway, it's now proven from the other week that Marmite is good for you.
Do you make it into a drink with boiling water like soup?
No, I used to make Bovril like that.
Bovril as well, yes. I used to do that with Bovril.
Yeah, but not with Marmite.
Maybe I'm getting mixed up. Why didn't you do it with Marmite?
I think it's abuse to the Marmite.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Quite right.
We cannot have Marmite abuse. Not allowed. No Marmite abuse. It's not allowed.
Sorry.
Yes.
So sorry.
But I like Marmite with sausages. Oh, Marmite and sausage sandwich is beautiful.
Every single thing you've said today has had a double meaning in my head. I don't know why. I don't know if it's you or me.
I think it's you because Rachel's not here to chastise you.
I'm so sorry.
We've got time to make a phone call, haven't we, Leigh?
What then?
Yeah, I think we must make a phone call. We need to phone the veterinary surgeon in the centre of London rather quickly.
Oh,
we do, because we need to get a vet's appointment for Dave.
Oh,
because he said Marmite should be banned, and I think there's no other solution for him down to the vets.
There was a band called Marmite, wasn't there?
I don't know.
Yeah, the likes of berated them.
I don't know.
Yeah, there was. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
I don't know.
David, David, if you're going for lunch, get a Marmite sausage.
Oh. Marmite and sausage in toasty bread. Oh.
Yeah, just rip it into your toasted bread and you're off.
Oh, I'll tell you, Marmite on cheese, that works well.
Ooh, yes, exactly.
Now, I've never tried this, but apparently, because somebody told me they really do this. Yeah. Banana and Marmite sandwiches.
I think I have actually tried that. I'm not sure whether I was very impressed. I don't like bananas for one reason: the noise they make when somebody's eating them.
Eh? Oh, you mean the sort of slurpy noise?
Yeah, and they could be the world's most polite eater, but they will still make that awful, like a washing machine going around noise. And if you eat one yourself, you can hear yourself doing it, and you're disgusted with yourself.
Dave's throwing up at the moment.
Has he had some Marmite? Has he had a Marmite?
I don't know. Hello to Eva, by the way. That's my sister-in-law, who's joined us for... Eva, are you sure? Okay, never mind. So anyway, we didn't even do the story about Marmite after all that.
Oh, no, we did. Well, we give a big dissertation on the values of Marmite and that you should never mix it with boiling water because that's abuse and you should be arrested.
Well, that's very true. You just use Bovril for that.
Yeah, Bovrils for that.
Yeah.
Want to abuse it? Abuse Bovril. Bovril.
Well, apparently, as we found out last week, it's really good for you. And now there's more studies are coming out going, it's good for you. So yes. I think it must be good for you.
I think Marmite is... Why is it called Marmite, though? It's a bit of a silly name, isn't it?
No.
Why?
It's my mate Marmite.
Oh, all right, then.
You walked into that one, didn't you? And because this programme always ends up in the toilet...
Oh, no, not... which one? Not the lady one.
The lady one. We are going to finish with some toilet humour. Because it's very normal for this programme. A woman has been rescued by firefighters after...
Fighters, you said!
Maybe one day you guys can show me it to me. Oh, Marmite. Yes, I get it now, yes. Anyway, a woman was rescued by firefighters after getting stuck in a window while
I've heard that story. It was really funny.
It was funny, wasn't it?
It was funny.
It's disgusting.
It's not.
It's disgusting.
What was she thinking, really?
I don't know. That was in stereo.
Well, yes, it was. It was lovely. That we sang together.
We did. We were in harmony, dear. In harmony.
Are you going to do it or not?
I can't. You do it.
Well, it's a story you do with a bit of a plum. This lady, right? She was on a Tinder date. Now, Tinder dates are, that's what she did. She went on a Tinder date and she actually went round to the house of Liam Smith, who lived in Bristol. Mm-hmm. And like you often will do on a date, you have to go to the gentleman's ablution, even if you're a lady, not to manipulate, but to do the other thing.
Yes.
The thing that you try. This is here. I'll put it. This is what you do, right? When you're doing it in somebody else's house, you're trying to cover it with a cough. And so it goes, badoosh, like that, and everybody knows what you're doing. And that's what she did, but the badoosh was gigantic. So incredibly, she stuck her hands down the toilet bowl, picked it up, and chucked it out the window. The problem was there was another window on the other side, and it got stuck between the pair of them, and she climbed up. Her boyfriend came in and held her upside down while she tried to grab him back and take him back. And
Leigh,
she got stuck in the window.
I know. Beautifully depicted, sir, beautifully. You've now got about 15 seconds in which to say goodbye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.
Thank you very much indeed, Leigh. That was Postcard from Poprad for another week. Oh, my Lord. They just write stories for us. They really do. They just write stories for us. We'll have a go getting the Facebook Live thing going better for next week for everybody. Thanks for sticking with it. And having restarted it, we know what it is. Coming up next, we've got Steve Bishop. Wherever you are. And by the way, if you're listening to the rerun of this in the middle of the night, they won't be Facebook Live. Oh, sorry, won't be there. But that's just the way it is. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
You're very, very welcome. I would say thank you to him, but I can't. It's just not going to happen. I'm never going to do that. Thank you, Gaby. Anyway, have a great week till next week. We'll see you all again then, doing something very different. And we hope to have spoken to one young Mike Emperor Roscoe by then. That'll be quite fun, won't it? Have a good week, boys and girls. Be nice to each other.
Officially in progress. RTI.